The brakes on the Jeep stopped working. That was fun.
How am I going to get this out? Oh, wow. Don't breathe in brake cleaner. It's not healthy. Why does it feel too big? I don't like that. Okay. That was unexpected.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. Once again, today we are working on something different that you haven't seen before, or maybe have seen in the background in other videos. This is my 2000 Jeep Wrangler TJ. Got the inline 6, 5-speed transmission. Use this thing to bomb around town all the time, go down to the beach. Love it. Absolutely love it. We actually thought about selling this when we got the Ranchero here, but my wife and I both decided that it was too cool of a car to get rid of. So, thing runs amazing, has 232,000 miles on it. Just have to do routine maintenance and nothing bad ever happens. Recently, after sitting for 2 or 3 weeks while we were on vacation, the front right brake started to bind up on our first outing after coming back, pulling very hard to one side. So right now we are going to pull apart this caliper, rebuild it. Hopefully that fixes it, because these brake pads, as you can see here, today is Cars and Coffee, about a mile up the road, and we get tons of loud exhaust. So, the brake pad itself, you can see, is barely worn. So, hopefully we can fix this and get this thing back on the road here today, because it is a beautiful day. It's the first day of fall, but it is sunny, and it's going to be 75 here. So let's get into it. So as you can see, we have this thing torn apart already. I wasn't planning on actually making a video out of this at all. I was just trying to do a quick fix, and then I realized that it probably actually needs to be rebuilt. So that's what we're looking at here. Get here in front of it. See, caliper itself, I got it fully extended right now. I'm going to pop this clamp off of here and then go in there, push the brake a little more, get that to pop out.
I'm going to push the brake, see if we can get this extended a little more to straighten out a little bit at least. I say a little bit a lot, don't I? Alright, let's do this. Alright, I heard a clunk, which tells me this thing came out a bit more. There we go. And here's the kit. I just want to look at this to make sure that it looks like it's approximately the right size. Okay. So, I don't want to destroy it, but I don't think this is really that savable right now. You know, you buy all these fancy new tools and things, and then you end up just using the super old ones that you've used for years on all kinds of stuff to get jobs done. Okay. How do you come off? There we go, there we go. It's a good start. Do not want to scratch the piston at all. Here we go. Come on. That is in there. Oh wow, okay. It's fairly rusted, but it doesn't look like it's been really compromised a whole lot. How am I going to get this out? You know, the typical way is using compressed air on the back side of the caliper. Really got to try to just get this out without having to do that crap. That is a big piston. There we go, that's out. And it's actually in pretty reasonable condition. So we'll save that just in case the new one isn't the right size, because I bought it off Amazon and would not be surprised if that's the case. Get out of here. I guess we should probably open the bleeder. It would likely make this a little easier. I'm going to put a clamp on that rubber brake line first. These little old vice grips come in super handy for this type of thing. Pop the bleeder. There we go. Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, there's all kinds of crap on that. All right. I should probably clean all this stuff off here quick. Don't lose your washers and stuff for your caliper bolt. Too bad. It doesn't appear to be dripping, which is great. Kind of dirty. All right, so we'll clean all this junk up. I'm actually not sure what brake fluid does to aluminum, but given the fact that it'll eat away basically any paint, and aluminum is, you know, slightly corrosive and all that kind of crap, well, probably best to keep it off of there. Here we have our parts. Cleaned off our workbench a little bit here. There's the remnants of the old watch that I'm rebuilding. Maybe you guys will see at some point in your lives. But here is our piston. You can see, I don't know, it's dirty, we'll see. The bolt's a little dirty. And here we can see the inside of our caliper bore. It's a little dirty, so we'll clean it out, replace this, make sure that that seal kit actually has what we need in it, and go from there. Alright, hopefully you all can see that. Got seal kit, got this thing off Amazon. I'll put the link here, but let's see if this actually has everything in it that we need. And let's just start cleaning this up a little bit. So here is our piston. Actually feels pretty decent. Just gonna wipe it off here. Yeah, luckily there's no, a little bit of a ring here. So I'll just make sure I smooth this up a little bit. I can feel right there's a little bit of a tough spot. But it should clean up nicely, which is great. We'll put this to the side for now. Next, clean off this bolt a little bit. Just a lot of cleaning, make sure there's nothing in these lines. Okay, now on to the main event, the caliper. Let's spray this thing out. First and foremost, take out our bleeder. It still screws just fine, so I'm not overly concerned with that. Let's just get everything out that we can first. And you can see there's a decent amount of crud that's coming out of there. So it's a good thing we're doing this. Now I want to get this seal out. Probably need a pick for that. Oh yeah, there's definitely rust under there. And the seal itself feels fine, but there's a lot of debris under there. We'll get a fresh cloth here in a moment and wipe this out. But you can see there are certain spots under the edge here that definitely have rust in them. Let's just do an initial wipe out. So, where we left off was we're just wiping this thing out, and you can see after that initial little process, there's still some junk in there. You can definitely see it's a bit rusted. Just general crud. So I think I'm gonna get my little Dremel out and go after this thing. And by Dremel, I of course mean the cheapo Amazon off-brand that I got for 20 bucks. Alright, doesn't look like I have a different brush, so I'm just going to use an actual wire wheel in my hand. You can see all the junk coming out of here as I'm doing this. All these fancy brushes. Look at that stub of thing here. Get in here so we can get these edges cleaned out. Don't breathe in brake cleaner, it's not healthy. Okay, call this the caliper housing. Good. Now, back to this guy. There's not any real ridges, but there is a little scoring around there. This thing, what is this made of? It looks, God, it looks like it's plastic. So, I'm gonna do that with just some steel wool. See how that works. Huh. Actually, it's working pretty well. Let's see what this looks like now. You can still see some of that scoring. It's really not bad. Alright. Open up our seal kit. Wow, that's extremely stretchy plastic. And there we have the inner seal and the outer seal. Looks to be in very reasonable condition. Let's get some brake fluid. On our finger here. Lube this guy up. Do not put plastic in there. Should be pretty simple to slide in here. Feels too big. Why does it feel too big? I don't like that. There we go. It's in. Wow, look at this puddle. All that junk has come out of there. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. That's in. I've seen a few different things. Somebody was using actual grease for this. That seems like a bad idea, but I guess I really don't know. That is a snug fit. I'm going to use a pliers, but I'm going to stay out of the inner barrel of this thing. Okay. How do I want to do this so that I don't hurt anything? We're going to need my C-clamp. There we go. Now what I want to do before I get this thing all the way in is to at least get the top part of the seal on there, which shouldn't be too difficult. Okay. So it looks like I need to pull this down past the groove. There we go, so we're in the groove there. Gotta pull it past to seat it correctly. You gotta be careful here that you don't damage the poor thing. So don't use anything sharp. I guess this is another effective way to do it. There we go. Invert the boot. Work your way around, feel it, make sure it's all good. There. So that should be good. And then what I'm sure we're going to have to do is delicately get this thing. Oh, wow, that went in with just hand pressure. Okay, that was unexpected. Bleeder screw in just to kind of keep stuff from going through. Get some lubrication in here. Okay, that should be good. Now let's get this thing compressed. Got an idea. I think I'll make this go a little easier. Piece of wood to make this thing compress evenly. Because I know that I'm not getting it in there straight right now. Alright, there we go. That's what we need it to be. We can hear it going in for us. Great. Good. Awesome. I can see this thing isn't quite compressing correctly. So I want to stop for a moment. You can see that the seal is kind of pulling in odd directions. We don't want that. Be very careful with this because you could easily poke a hole in this thing. If we don't do this, when this caliper is actually in use again, the seal will pinch and it'll just tear the boot. We'll have to do this thing again in no time. So this is very important. Try to get this correct. Almost. Fully compressed. Nice. I think we're good. So I can squeeze that in a bit more. Again, just because those pads are so thick still. Yeah, that feels fully seated. Don't want to squeeze too much. Screw this thing up. Get our bleeder tightened up a little more here. And then that's it. We're good to go. Very exciting news. We have the caliper seal, piston seal, replaced. That was a very trying effort. You can see here, though, that we're good now. That new seal is in place, and you can see here all the junk that came out of that caliper. So, although it initially looked pretty decent, I'd say it's definitely worth pulling apart. I may even do the front left just because there was obviously junk in there. We're going to begin the reinstallation. Make sure your nut and everything is all cleaned up, ready to be put on here. And what I'm going to do first is actually clean this thing off a bit more because it's nasty. These are our installation bolts. They're actually in pretty good shape. And then luckily these things are fairly idiot-proof. You can see the grooves where your washers go. That should be adequate. Take our clamp off of there. Snug this up a little bit. I'm gonna go up there and just get the pedal to pressurize Should be pretty good to go since I didn't drain that line completely, but we'll see. Just doing this so that I know that it'll dry off and I'll know if the line is leaking then. Just push. Okay, release. Okay. Hold on just a moment. Push until you have a little bit of pressure.
Me for now?
Yeah. You doing it?
Yeah.
Push more. Keep going. Okay.
Let go?
Hold on.
Or just keep it there?
There you go. Now you can let go. Now, do it again, please.
All the way down?
Yep, as far as it'll go.
That's it.
Cool. Tighten up your caliper bolts. Those can get pretty snug, so don't worry about, I mean, don't over tighten them obviously, but it's going into steel, so it's not that big of an issue. It's exciting. We could be driving the Jeep here in a moment. Now, you can obviously see this very large wheel spacer. Not particularly a safe thing to have. I don't particularly like it, but I haven't bought new wheels for the truck yet, and if I take that off, it'll look real goofy. So they're staying on for now. If anybody has a lead to good Moab or Canyon wheels here in Southern California, shoot me a comment. I would be very interested in buying them. Get it started. Forgot to put the cap back on the bleeder. Break out our torque wrench that only gets used a couple times a year, so it's definitely not accurate anymore. Okay, that's it. All right, that is it. We got the caliper back on. We are all done. I'm gonna take the Jeep for a drive, and then we just have to clean up this chaos here. Something to remember, very important, refill your brake reservoir as you're going through bleeding stuff, and then once you're just done, make sure that thing is topped off, and show you the aftermath here. Just a mess of tools, got to clean up the floor, but we should be good to go. So exciting for the first day of fall. Gonna take the Jeep out and rip around. See you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.